everybody, this is Steve from plus10damage.com, and we're doing a plus 10 looks today on Evoland, which is out for both PC and Mac. This game is basically a throwback to old school RPGs, basically Legend of Zelda and Final Fantasy. So if you don't understand what I mean by that, basically as we go through this game you'll see a little bit more of how it goes between one version and the other. Essentially it's like a history lesson in RPGs, really. You start off going from a very basic Game Boy screen, and then you move on to the Nintendo generation, and then Super Nintendo, and so on and so forth, and you get to see different types of games as you go along. If you head over to evoland.shirogames.com, you can find the original version of Evoland Classic, which you can play for free, and then you can also buy Evoland from the website itself. Otherwise, you can pick it up on Steam or Good Old Games. It's available at both. However, if you buy it directly from the website itself, you get a Steam key for the game, but you also get the soundtrack as well. So I would consider spending the $9.99 on the Shiro Games website. So let's get going here. So the way the game starts is you're basically on a very flat plane where you go back and forth. And you'll kind of see in the bottom of the screen the things that you get as you unlock treasure chests. So we're kind of in that Game Boy mode right now, and you're starting to learn basic things. You notice that there is no music yet, but you will get some, and like we just got the sound effects. So as your game goes along, you're going to see different aspects, which are it's really a kind of a neat idea because the game changes as you're playing. So you are suddenly able to use your sword, but the graphics themselves, they're like a Game Boy game, like I stated, but obviously much more detailed than the original games were. The first time I started playing this game, I, for some odd reason, had a really hard time controlling the controller, but as soon as I figured it out, it was very quickly done, really well done. So now we've got the music and just activated the save points, which are really quick to use. You just step on it and boom, saved. So you don't have to worry about all that. There are some like special hidden features in here as well. There are some cards and whatnot that we will get to before too long here. Oh, here we go. Now we're in the 16-bit display mode, if you will. So moving along. There's stars. You can get extras of those. And there's the cards I was talking about. There's a card game in there called Double Twin that as you go through, hopefully you'll find all the secret ones and then it'll make your deck stronger. So just running. Enemies all over the place. Get rid of those. Apparently I don't like plants. So there's also some like random spots where you can't really do anything. You just kind of walk through and ta-da, you're in it. Now the nice thing about these enemies is they don't shoot at you, which is kind of helpful. And you can kind of run at them. Now the bats are kind of difficult because they go at really random patterns. And I didn't mention this, but it's basically a one-hit kill from this point. So if you touch any of these monsters, you're dead. And then you gotta start over from your last save point. So hopefully you catch them all regularly and you don't have to wait on them. Or else you gotta go all the way back. So like I said, save when you can. And here's where the story comes in. It's not the most in-depth story in the world, but you know, I mean, for a short game like this, it's nice to have some kind of narrative. And business is picking up again. The plot is so deep and rich, that is true. There's another hidden star. Again, save as often as you can, because you don't have to deal with all that stuff again. Otherwise you have to watch the story again, which can be fine, but sometimes it's annoying. Here we go, a couple more colors. Make things a little more prettier. Again, those bats are incredibly obnoxious. So the nice thing is you kind of start learning all the basic RPG tropes that came from the beginning of gaming in a very quick paced game here. So now with the free movement, you can kind of move diagonally, which is kind of helpful. You also notice there was a black box up at the top of the screen. That those you can't break yet. Later on maybe, but not yet. Again, stones can't break yet. Now these enemies are kind of a pain because they'll chase you around, and they have a shield, so you can't hit their front spot. But if they touch you, you die. So, like that. So again, it's a good thing that I saved recently, because otherwise we would be going all the way back to the beginning or somewhere real close by. So yeah, so we start with these statues again, and hopefully I won't die this time. The first time I played this game, I think I died about 8 times really quickly, which it sounds terrible because it's not an overly difficult game, but yet here I did. And I died again. Yeah, I don't like going up against those guys because for whatever reason they do quick turns and then you're standing right there all of a sudden. So, yeah. Get the inventory again. This time I don't have to use it. Hopefully this guy won't kill me. And we'll actually move past this part. That'd be a bonus. It's hard to tell when they're going to turn too, because they just kind of walk for a little bit and then turn, and then you might get hit by him and hopefully you... Okay, alright. This is like my least favorite part apparently. There we go. Alright, let's start them. This time. I got them both. Dang it. So now we'll just do like a little... Hey, got one. Alright. Don't kill me. Don't kill me. Ah! If you're wondering why I keep dying here, it's because I'm stupid. There we go. Okay, one down, one more to go. Let's see which way he turns immediately. Okay. 2. Don't kill me, jerk. Hey! I did it! Alright, so we can move on here. That only took like 4 or 5 times. So one thing you might notice is that every once in a while the game might like freeze for a brief second. I don't believe that's actually from the game itself. I think it's because I'm running a video, like a screen recorder at the same time as playing the game. And I think just the 2 programs working together is kind of slowing everything down from time to time. So you'll see it a little bit more as we go along here. But for the most part, it works out pretty well. And it never really seems to like hurt you unless you're fighting an enemy at that time. But I don't know. It usually only seems like when it's loading things that's a major issue. Also, you'll notice that we switched into a Final Fantasy type battle system here. It's a little bit nicer. It's not a one-hit kill, so I won't run into as many problems as I did before. They've got a pretty big world to explore as you're going along. Again, you can move diagonally like you did before. So we're going to fight a couple emucks here. Or slimes. I don't have my special yet, so I can't do any extra bonus damage or anything like that, but on the plus side I am gaining money. So there we go, there's a little hiccup on the screen. But again, the screen recorders, sometimes they mess with games a little bit, and this just happens to be one of those cases. Yay, money! I also noticed I'm not gaining any experience. I'm getting money, but not experience. Oh, here's a big old freeze there. I think that signals the end of this plus 10 looks. You can see that we're changing our our graphics as we go along. It does go a lot farther than this. It goes into like the 16-bit or excuse me, 64-bit graphics and things like that. But and I died, so I think that does signal the end. So hopefully you enjoyed this +10 looks of Evoland.